it's Adam Contos here. Start with a win. We are at Area15 Ventures, second home of Start with a Win.
That's right.
With Brand Viva Studios. Producer Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing so good.
Awesome. Hey, you and I have talked a lot about franchising in the past because franchising is just a huge part of U.S. society. I mean, it's a great big part of the GDP as well. I think it's like upwards of 5 or 6% impact on the GDP in the United States with, millions of employees involved in franchises. We have with us one of the preeminent experts in franchising. You ready to go?
Oh, so ready. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So with us today as our special guest, a longtime guest of ours, we have the co-founder of RE/MAX, Dave Liniger. How you doing, my friend?
I'm awesome.
Awesome. All right. So I want to talk about franchising. We've talked about leadership. We've talked about, really personal development, things like that in the past. But I want to talk about the mechanics of franchising. You are in the International Franchise Association Hall of Fame, both you and your amazing wife, also the other co-founder of RE/MAX, Gail Liniger. When did you get into franchising? Tell us the story of how you got into franchising, because this is really interesting for a lot of our listeners because so many are with RE/MAX. So tell us about that.
It's a sort of an accident. We started RE/MAX in January of '73, and eventually Gail and I opened 8 offices. About 1975, a young man from Kansas City called, and somebody had written an article about one of my friends was going to imitate the RE/MAX system in Kansas City. Well, he wasn't a friend. He had come in to interview for a job, and then he just tried to steal the idea. And then in his newspaper, it was, well, my buddy Dave is teaching me how to do all this. And no, I had no conversation. And he said, would you, and I told him that, and he said, his name was Dennis Curtin, by the way, my first franchisee. And Dennis said, would you consider selling me a franchise then? And I said, well, yeah, I would. And he and a couple of buddies flew out, and they bought the first franchise. It was for North Kansas City in '75. Sold 2 in '76, one in Washington, D.C., one in Calgary. And in the end of Christmas of '76, my 8 managers came to us for our managers' luncheon, and they said, look, you're starting to sell franchises. Why don't you let us buy our offices? And I said, well, I put a lot of money in those offices. And they said, oh, we'll pay for more than the franchise fee. And we just need time. Wow. And we'll give you payments. And that way you'll have the financing in '77 to franchise.
Wow.
And so we sold them the 8 franchises. That gave us our capital. And in '77, we sold 100 regions and franchises.
Basically a franchisee is buying time and effort that's been put into this by the franchisor and by their peers in the franchise system, because franchising is a network. And a lot of that is the value of that network of your peers. Tell us a little bit about that, because you always talk about the value of all of that knowledge you gain from those other people in the field.
Well, the thing that's fascinating is sometimes the ivory tower group think they're smart, and they think that maybe everybody else is not quite as smart. But the truth of the matter is, every significant good idea for RE/MAX came from the field. It did not come from the ivory tower. For instance, it was the request from the field to start the RE/MAX satellite television network. And at the time, we knew that other people like Walmart and a lot of the automobile dealerships all had the same system. Why not do it with the real estate business? The hot air balloon. We foo-fooed the idea, but it became pretty obvious that the agents loved the idea, and that changed our entire logo. The field is brilliant. They're on the firing line every day. They're the ones that are testing out ideas. And so even if you look at our training programs for the most part came from our top producers.
Okay, that's fascinating, Dave. And I know you've been in franchising for decades. Obviously RE/MAX. You've gotten into other franchise concepts, and you're kind of looking at the future of franchising as well. So, talk to us about how technology is driving some franchising, and particularly, I mean, you are now, and for full disclosure, I'm part of this this whole process. We've got a concept called Daddy's Chicken Shack, which is a chicken sandwich concept that's in infantile stages, but there's a location open in California. But it's not a sandwich store with some technology. It's more like a technology store with chicken sandwiches. Can you tell us about how technology and the evolution of franchising is changing how people do simple things?
Yeah. Well, the founders, two really great people, middle-aged, 38, 43, something like that. Very good at what they do. She had a celebrity catering business, so she's a celebrity chef. But on a whim, everybody loved her chicken sliders and in the catering business. So she called her dad and said, hey, come out here to California and we're going to start a chicken sandwich concept. And I want you to help run it. So they had an off-the-track 700 square feet, no indoor seating, no outdoor seating, no parking because there's a fire department right next to them. And so the people have to walk up and get their stuff. COVID hit. Her catering business caved overnight and everything was canceled. And that little sandwich shop did $1.3 million that first year.
Wow.
And it was all takeout or Grubhub or something like that. And so they decided this is success. We ought to franchise it. Got a hold of the two of us through a contact. We went out, did the taste, and we were sold on them as individuals. But it was fascinating about how the individual, Chris, said that technology would change quick food outlets. And so they were finding out that the restaurants that did have seating, it was still going 60, 70% was pickup because limited seating in COVID of being able to use the space. So they designed a prototype that's about 2,000 square feet. Ideally, drive-up windows, but if not, a curbside pickup. Very limited seating, maybe 42 on the inside, a little bit on the patio. And they created their own technology. And the technology is such that you can order your food by telephone, by an app on your cell phone, by your computer, or Grubhub, or any of this you want to. And then they track the order. And they geo-target around the market. And when you're 8 minutes out from picking up your food, that's when they prepare it. They don't prepare it a half an hour in advance. And unlike other lines, you can't order at a little microphone and get through the drive-through. The drive-through is for pickup only of pre-orders. And the technology exists that even like the Grubhub people and whatever, they know their assigned minute that it's going to be ready, and they hit it. They've already paid with a credit card, and all they do is ID, pick up the food, and drive off. And so there's no 10-minute line waiting for them to give you your Big Mac.
So you have this massive interaction in franchising now between experience and convenience going on, and it's technology enabled. And then my understanding and what I've seen in the technology there is that when you come back the next time, they already know who you are and what you're ordering.
Yeah, if you order inside, they have artificial intelligence, and it looks like a giant iPad. You walk up to it, it recognizes you from your previous visit, whenever it was, and it will say, hi, Mr. Liniger, do you want the same thing you ordered here last time? And it pops up, this is what you ordered last time. And you either just hit OK, or you say, no, and I want to reorder.
And what it all boils down to is, and this is the same for really all types of franchise concepts, that, and you were mentioning this to me earlier, it comes down to how involved but efficient and experiential can you come up with for the consumer so that it's like you're not just eating a delicious piece of food, which, by the way, their chicken sandwiches are the best I've ever had, but you have this feeling that you just accomplished something because it's so simple to order that. I mean, it's not like, there's a problem here. Is that the level of experience that consumers are demanding now and into the future?
Yeah, especially the younger generations. Google has ruined everything for everybody. And so Google makes it so easy. You want to know anything in the world, just hit the mic and tell, and they'll give you the answer instantly. And so we've got an entire generation of people that have never had to go to an encyclopedia or do a paper by looking things up. They just have to Google it, and it's simple. The simple is very important to the younger generations, but COVID accelerated this because even X-Gens and maybe some baby boomers that really weren't into ordering their grocery online all of a sudden had to. And they decided this is easy.
Awesome. I mean, it's so cool. I encourage everybody to check this out. daddysfranchising.com is where they can find out more about Daddy's Chicken Shack. And Dave, I know you're always looking for more concepts in franchising. I'm sure you'll have some more for us here when we talk in the future. Thank you for being on Start With a Win, and thanks for sharing your franchising knowledge.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
Are you wondering how to grow your business? It might be something you're missing, and it's not sales and it's not marketing. I'll tell you that right now. It's something most people don't even think about, and that's leadership, okay? Whether you're leading yourself or a team, leadership is the key for next level growth, and you're in luck because Adam has put together 3 of the techniques and ideas he used as the CEO of RE/MAX to develop himself and his leaders to produce amazing growth and results. If you want to download these 3 keys, head over to adamcontos.com/leadership and get those. So until next time, remember, start with a win.